You are now listening to On Air with Lewis Hunter.
Welcome back to On Air with Lewis Hunter. It's about all the ins and outs of celebs, professionals, and behind-the-scenes workers of your favourite movies and films. Join me as we go into their lives and find out what it's like to be one of them. Today I'm joined by my friend and compadre, Adam Williamson. How you doing?
I'm grand. Appreciate you having me on.
No problem. You're going to be a recurring guest in the future for times where we don't have someone that we may want coming up.
I'm the favourite.
Now, last week's episode, we interviewed Philip Reynolds and went into his life about his podcasting, his producing. Pretty good episode. If you haven't listened to it, make sure to check it out. It is now also Christmas for the listeners listening today, so happy Christmas, Merry Christmas to everyone listening. What is your plans for Christmas this year, Adam?
Me, genuinely, just to get a bit of drinking than me and just sit down and eat some dinner, that's it.
That's fair enough. That's one way to go about Christmas. You going to be spending it with your family? You going to be going out for like a wee party?
Oh no, I'm spending with the family. Like, couldn't party on Christmas. Like maybe the day after, but
Fair enough. Let's hope you don't have work the day after. So, for those of you that are not quite in the loop about movies, we're going to be going about the new movies coming out in 2022, blockbusters from Netflix, Marvel, you name it. We're going to be covering it. So, is there any movies in particular, Adam, that interest you?
honestly, the sequel to Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, with Gwen Stacy coming back in this from the trailer. What we've seen is she comes through a portal on top of him, where the movie actually ended in the last one. So you have Miles and Gwen going through some multiverse once more with this Marvel multiverse in Phase 4. So it'd be quite interesting to see where it goes.
Oh, yeah, no, Miguel coming out of that portal, Spider-Man 2099. I cannot wait to see that because I doubt he's the villain, but still be pretty cool to sort of see him as a character and what he does in this one.
Yeah, I feel like he's a character that if you haven't quite read the comics as much, you wouldn't quite know much about him. So, as you seem quite interested about this Spider-Man character, would you like to tell the viewers sort of what he's about?
The Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah.
Well, he's an alternate universe sort of futuristic Spider-Man who his name's not Peter, as every other Spider-Man's been called. Instead, he's
Okay.
Miguel. And he comes. It's not New York. There's a lot of sort of convoluted information, but it's like he lives in this place called Nueva York, which is like a futuristic, obviously New York and
Yeah.
different universe and stuff like that there. And essentially, it's just Spider-Man in the future. That's basically it.
Well, it sounds quite interesting, so I'm looking very forward to that movie. But another movie I'm looking quite forward to is the Uncharted movie coming out in February 18th, 2022. It has Tom Holland coming down as Nathan Drake, and then you'll have Mark, what you call him?
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg, got it there. Coming back as Sully. So it'll be quite interesting to see how they adapt it from the games. Now, did you ever play the games on the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4?
No, I haven't really. But I heard that this is meant to be a prequel towards those.
You see, I feel that I think it's sort of a prequel, but at the same time, I think they're bringing back certain bits here and there from the games. Now, I just love the games. All the games back in the day were absolutely amazing on the PS3. That's what I spent my life playing. So to see this movie when it comes out in February, I am so hyped for it. But a movie that we have not yet covered, which is out by the time that listeners are listening to this, is the new Spider-Man. So me and Adam here actually went to see it. Now, this will not have any spoilers, but I would like to know your opinions on it, Adam.
Genuinely, I went into that movie expecting a lot and got a lot more than I expected. And genuinely, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen in a while.
Yeah, 100%. Now, there was a post-credit scene, which is a trailer. So that now leads into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, that there movie comes out on March 25th, 2022. Benedict Cumberbatch will come to reprise the role of Doctor Strange, and we will see Wanda as the Scarlet Witch, obviously. And this will enter to a whole new universe that we have not yet seen. Now, from what I've read from critics, etc., this Doctor Strange movie will break box office records above this new Spider-Man movie.
I also want to mention now, this is a spoiler, but if you haven't seen Loki, this is I'm going to blame it on yourself.
Yeah,
But
100%.
if Kang's not in this new movie, I'm going to be genuinely confused. Even a reference towards him, because the only reference we've had so far is in Loki, the show itself. Another reference we're going to get is in Ant-Man. I think they maybe fight
Yeah,
him or one of
Quantumania,
them.
he is in that movie. He is one of the main characters in it, therefore I think he's going to be a big part of it. But that's coming out, what, 2023, I believe? So we've got a bit yet to wait for that. Now, before that movie, the next movie in Phase 4 of the MCU is Thor: Love and Thunder. We don't really have much on this movie, but do you like Thor, Adam? Or is he not sort of your forte?
No, he's I wouldn't say he's one of my favorite, but he is a pretty cool hero nonetheless. And this new one going to introduce Jane Foster as um an Asgardian, I
Interesting.
guess, or or as she wields a hammer. I think it's going to be that way if they take towards the comics. It'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting turn. Now, another movie I've just seen pop up on this is Indiana Jones 5. So that comes out in July 29th, 2022. Harrison Ford, once again, as always, reprises the role as Indiana Jones. Are you a big fan of Indiana Jones, or is it, once again, not your forte?
I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I've never watched an Indiana Jones movie.
Nah, man, you can't be you can't be at that. That's just disrespectful.
I haven't touched one before, and I keep meaning to, but it's just I haven't. I've never watched one.
You need to get round to it. Harrison Ford plays such a good role in it, and he's so perfect for it. Honestly, if you haven't seen Indiana Jones yet, I really recommend you all go see it. At least one of them, so then you sort of understand what's happening. Now, another big actor, which likes to reprise a role quite a lot, is Tom Cruise, and he has a movie coming out on September 30th, 2022, and that's Mission Impossible 7. Mission Impossible is just one of those movies that everyone's at least seen one, I feel, and if you haven't, where have you been? Because he creates most of his own stunts, and it's such an action-packed movie. Um, and I feel like Mission Impossible 7 will just live up to that once again. Adam, do you have any opinions on that?
Nope. Again, Mission Impossible. I am lacking in the movie criteria, but I think I maybe watched one Mission Impossible, but aside from that, there I have literally not touched another one. But I have to say the one I did watch was insanely good. It was well directed, like.
One's better than none, so I will take that. So, there's a movie coming up on November 4th, 2022, and it's called The Flash. And Ezra Miller is Speedy Superhero Flash in the DC Multiverse, and is bringing back Michael Keaton's Batman in this movie. So, do you like The Flash? Have you ever watched the show, or is that just not sort of your thing?
No, I've watched a couple episodes of the show. I'm not gonna lie. I also looked at some of the clips on YouTube, and the one episodes I saw weren't bad, but some of the clips I saw from the show,
Yeah.
the CGI is a
That's what I was
bit
about to say.
lackluster.
We've probably seen the same clip where he gets thrown up against the wall. I think it's like an alien or something.
There's a whole load of them. There's
Yeah,
ones where even some of the running scenes as well. It's just disgusting.
100%. Now moving from DC back to Marvel in November 11th, 2022, the supposed Black Panther Wakanda Forever is meant to come out. I don't know if that will exactly be possible, but it is set for that date.
There is a huge issue with that recently, and it was for who was it? I think it was Shuri's actor, um, Letitia, or I might have butchered that, but
Letita,
it,
right?
yeah, there was a whole thing about her not wanting to get her vaccine, and she cannot film unless she agrees to get one. And she's literally one of the most from what I can tell in this movie, they're probably going to either make her Black Panther or leader of Wakanda,
Yeah.
and they can't do that without a Shuri. They're going to have to recast her.
Either recast her or they'll have to just follow extra cautious procedures to make sure she can still play that actor and that
There'll be a
role
lot of
even.
controversy for it, and I think I can't remember what it was exactly. I'll probably find it later, but um yeah, there was I hopefully she does do, or they do something, because she was a good actor, but just some choices.
100%. Now, another movie coming up is Creed 3. Now, Michael B. Jordan will come back, and he'll also be directing this film. And this comes out in November 23rd, 2022. Have you ever seen Creed, Adam?
Part of it.
It's practically like Rocky,
Yeah, no,
but
I know
only
that.
Michael B. Jordan is getting trained.
Slapped.
Yeah, and slapped. So, this movie, whenever I read this, I said to you, Adam, I was like, what is this about? So Avatar 2 is coming out in December 16th, 2022. And it says here, Avatar and Star Wars will alternate each Christmas for the next few years. James Cameron's Avatar 2 drops in 2022. Avatar 3 in 2024. Avatar 4 in 2026. And Avatar 5 in 2028.
See, the only way I could see them doing that is if they've already pre-recorded a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of footage pre-hand. Because if not, they are going to struggle getting anything out by 2024.
100%. And if you think about it, when did Avatar 1 come out? So long ago. And it's still one of the highest grossing movies in the box office. So for them to then drag it out and make 4 more movies within like the next 10 or so years, it's gonna kill off the franchise in my opinion. Like, yes, Star Wars done it, and it says here it will alternate with Star Wars as it's by Disney now, but I still feel like it'll kill off the nostalgia people have with that first movie. Like, you watch that movie now, and the graphics still hold up to this day, which is very hard to do from the era it's from.
Yeah, and the CGI, especially with the CGI, like the CGI
Yeah.
worth, it is something shocking.
So, in my opinion, I don't want them to make 4 more. I would like to see a second one, 100%. But any more than 2, I think is too many.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the sort of the movies and their sequels and stuff like that, sequels can be good, but they can generally ruin the franchise they're in. For instance, I do believe the new Spider-Verse could be good, but I don't want to get my hopes too high because of how good the first one was. There is no way they're hitting that mark again.
Yeah. No,
mean-
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, maybe they do, on the off chance they do, but it's just I'm scared to go for it too much and then it does go wrong.
Yeah. Now, the next movie on this list that I'm having a look at is one that was announced not too long ago. And the fan reaction was quite varied. I think most people saw it sort of not seriously, but it is seeming to be quite serious. And this is by Nintendo, and it's the Mario film. Now, Chris Pratt will be Mario.
I genuinely don't know what is going on anymore.
No, neither. You see, when we get to this stage, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if it's going to be like half realistic like the Sonic movie was. I don't know how they're going to exactly pull this off, but I don't know if I want to see how they'll pull this off either.
Like, the cast is so upside down. Like, you have Jack Black as Bowser, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Chris Pratt as... they're just... Nothing makes sense in this entire thing.
No, like, these characters in Nintendo have never really had voices. So for the Donkey Kong to be talking with Seth Rogen's voice,
well,
like, is he gonna be a comedian? Like, is Donkey Kong gonna be funny? Like, how is this gonna work?
To be fair, if I am not wrong, yeah, there has been another Mario movie before, but it was terrible and very poorly received, and I'm scared to see if that's the direction they're going this time because it's just not going to end up right.
Yeah, it's quite questionable. So we're just gonna
Yeah.
move on from that one. Now, in 2022, there's a movie. There's no release date on this, but it'll be coming on Netflix, and that is Pinocchio. So it's a stop-motion animated musical fantasy. Ewan McGregor will come on to voice in it. Ron Perlman, Tilda Swinton, Christoph Waltz, Kate Blanchett, and John Turturro. So, you ever seen the original Pinocchio?
The Disney one, yeah, I
Yeah.
have. It was still one of the classics and best there is.
100%. So I feel like the way they're making this stop motion, it's gonna still bring it back to its roots, sort of, but in a way also make it feel new. So that'd be quite interesting to see, I think.
I'm having a look here, and I need to do some background check on that, but an Untitled Shrek reboot.
I feel like you probably
What?
need to get more research into that one before we can 100% say that's going to happen.
Screen Rant says Shrek is to receive some kind of reboot which is currently in development.
Well, if I'm not wrong, DreamWorks is owned by Disney now.
DreamWorks
Or
is,
not
I don't think
DreamWorks, is it Blue Sky? Whoever made Ice
DreamWorks
Age,
is Shrek.
whoever made Ice Age is now owned by Disney because their studio went bankrupt. So the studio was bought over. So I don't know if that's the same company as Shrek, but
No, they're Blue Sky Studios. Yeah, no, they're a different company than
okay.
the Shrek one.
Well, here's a movie that's just caught my eye, and this is Lightyear. So this is a spin-off from the Toy Story series. It comes out in June 17th, 2022. Chris Evans will be playing Buzz Lightyear in this movie that I believe is meant to be from the TV show that you see in like the first film, which is what his character's based off, the toy character.
Yeah, no,
The graphics and the CGI, whew, look amazing.
yeah, no, the animation does look pretty cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait for that. That's one of the ones that's definitely gonna hit top. If they do it right, it will definitely be one of the best coming out soon.
See, I also would agree with you, but at the same time, I want to disagree for this movie that's coming up, and this is Jurassic World Dominion. So that comes up in June 10th, 2022. And the original Jurassic Park stars Laura Dern, Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum will join Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt in the 6th Dino blockbuster. Now, what's your opinions on that, Adam?
Right, maybe it's just me, but I am done with Jurassic movies.
Really?
Yeah, this will be like what, the 5th installment? Like,
Sixth.
it's the 6th installment. Like, we've had Jurassic Park 1 and 2, Jurassic World, like there's no end in sight for these movies as long as they can figure out a new dinosaur to cock up in like a facility that goes wrong. It just keeps going on.
But you know what? It's introducing younger people to the franchise that maybe wouldn't have seen the previous movies, maybe are only getting in the movies because, you know, they might be like 5, 6, you know, that sort of thing. And it brings a younger generation to the franchise, so that's why I like it. Now, don't get me wrong, the original ones will never be beaten, but that you could say the same for most things.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've done quite a good job at keeping it going and still looking good. But you can never beat the original animatronics they had for the dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah, no facts. Like, that was kind of sick. Like,
100%. Now, another movie that's coming out just before this. We have 2 more, and then we will move on. So we have Top Gun Maverick, and that's May 27th, 2022. So the last Top Gun came out 30 years ago, 1986. Over 30 years ago, sorry. So it was actually meant to come out, this movie, in summer 2020, but due to something called COVID, it got delayed. So, have you ever seen the original Top Gun?
I have not actually.
Oh, you're missing out. That is a must-see. As soon as we finish that, you're watching Top Gun, right? Top Gun is one of those movies that will never get old, no matter how many times you watch it. I'm a guy where I can't watch a movie more than once, and this one I could watch it 1,000,000 times over, and I have done due to Air Cadets. What were you gonna say there, Adam?
I have a list of movies now I need to watch just to really catch up to everything that's coming out next year.
100%.
Seems to be a lot of sequels though. That's the thing. Like, you have
Yeah.
the likes of the Pinocchio remake. You have the likes of the Little Shop at Horror remake. The Buzz Lightyear, which is technically a sequel but not at the same time.
Yeah. It's a spin-off in a way.
Yeah, and the Enola Holmes. And yeah, there's just a lot of sequels coming out soon.
Well, talking about sequels, I have a sequel I'm about to talk to you about now, and that is John Wick Chapter 4. Now, this releases the same day as Top Gun Maverick, and Keanu Reeves obviously will reprise in the fourth outing. Now, have you seen any of the other John Wicks?
No, I haven't, but I have seen the Matrixes though.
Yes, The Matrix, that is coming out in, if it's not already out by the time this is released, I believe it'll be out December 22nd. So yes, this is out now 3 days for the viewers listening. We're currently sitting on the 16th of December, but for you it'll be the 25th, or in the future past that. So The Matrix Resurrection, came out, and that is by, obviously, Keanu Reeves is playing Neo, and you have Lana Wachowski, who created The Matrix, and it is a new cyberpunk action thriller, and it'll be on HBO Max too for Americans. So, what is your opinion on The Matrix?
Honestly, really good set of movies, and I'm sort of glad they brought it back for a fourth. I know I was talking about, Jurassic World having one, but at the same time, like four of the 6 movies haven't released in the last 5 years. So I mean, like, we're on a track somewhere.
That's very true. I watched all 3 of the most recent ones before this one, maybe in October, because I was planning to see this movie, but I don't know if I'll get to it. I don't know, but who knows with COVID these days, if the cinemas will be shut down or what. But I hope to see it. But if not, Netflix, I please beg, bring it to Netflix, and then not before 20 years. Just gonna check if there's any others. Is there any other movies you would particularly want to cover?
No, but I have a bone to pick with cinemas.
Okay, go for it while I look here.
When I'm ordering tickets and pre-ordering, I can understand COVID is a thing. Please put on your websites that you need some form of ID and your vaccine card now. I understand that that's a law, but please, I need a reminder next time.
I feel just because we went to the cinema the week of that law being enforced, this is United Kingdom, I feel like maybe they just hadn't got it updated. Now, I've got some movies here from 2023. So, there's only one with an actual date, and that is The Marvels. So that's February 17th, 2023. That's Captain Marvel sequel.
And Ms. Marvel as well.
And friends, yeah. So you will have quite a few interesting characters coming in that movie. I feel like that'll be quite a good movie.
I can't remember if that's the introduction to Ms. Marvel or if Ms. Marvel's own movie's the introduction. Because I remember the introduction to Spider-Man, if I'm not wrong, was Civil War, so I don't know if it's going to work that way.
I'm not sure. I believe The Marvels is coming out before Ms. Marvel. So it'll probably be where you first encounter. And maybe Monica Rambeau could come back. Who knows?
Oh no, Rambo will definitely come back if she's still got that power. You know what I mean? Like she has to come back at some point. But I don't know. Why would you not? It's I'm also. Have you seen Shang-Chi?
I have seen Shang-Chi.
Can we talk about it?
Shang-Chi came out, what now? September? Yeah. If you haven't seen Shang-Chi, we're blaming it on you, but here is a spoiler alert.
Yeah,
if you
Shang-Chi's
don't want to hear about
Disney
Shang-Chi, you can skip forward, say 2 or 3 minutes.
Just watch it in Disney Plus or something. It's available almost like everywhere. Anyway, right, I'm gonna spoil it anyway for anybody. So at the end, after Shang-Chi, bit everybody, right? You know the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
So why is Banner like, what was the whole thing about him not finding that balance between him and the Hulk, and then he goes back?
Well, I feel we will find this out in the upcoming show on Disney Plus, She-Hulk. I feel that'll be a way of indicating to us why he's like that. Maybe this was before everything. I'm not sure the timeline with Shang-Chi.
No, the Shang-Chi takes place after, because Banner still has that burnt out arm, his left arm.
Okay. Well, then I'm not too sure. Maybe he's experimenting in that lab we've seen from the trailer for She-Hulk. Who knows? Maybe when he hulks out, he doesn't go to the full size he would have previously. Maybe he only goes to the mix between the two. Who knows? But the last movie I want to cover is Star Wars. So this comes out in December 2023, 2025, and 2027. Once again, every other year after the Avatar movies. So,
what Star Wars movie is this? Because there's like 15
They
coming out.
don't have names, but these are like after episode 9 or whatever the previous one was.
Wait,
There'll be like
are
10
these
on top.
sequels to the sequels?
No, I think these continue on where you had like the new ones that they made. What you call it? Where you had BB-8, that sort of series of the movies, where Luke came back, and he was on the island in Ireland where it was filmed. But I think 2 seconds, I will find out. If you just want to sort of, what was your favorite movie, Adam?
They released recently or all together?
Any Star Wars movie? What was your favorite?
Can we do animated or is it specifically only the live action ones?
The episode ones.
Okay. I liked episode 3. It was pretty cool. I liked the whole the.
You
I was
like
gonna say
the prequels?
I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm
Nah.
worried about the spoilers, but you know what? It's been like how many years at this point? I
Episode
don't care.
3 came out 16 years ago.
I don't care. Yeah, so like no, the prequels were pretty good. Like
Yeah. For me, it has to be The Empire Strikes Back. It's just a classic, but there is
Yeah,
12 movies out. From Star
well,
Wars.
yeah, well that's technically not just the live action. There's 9 live action and a couple of animated ones, like the Clone Wars one, which is definitely something that should be watched.
Yeah,
Because
I hated the Clone Wars. I'm not gonna lie to you.
what?
But The Rise of Skywalker. That was the newest
What?
one. So it will follow after The Rise of Skywalker.
I'm in shock that you just said that to me.
Nah, I didn't like the prequels. Not at all. Not at all.
He
Not
doesn't
at
like,
all.
he doesn't like, and you don't even like the Clone Wars.
Nah.
What? I.
Well, we're just gonna move on from that topic before we get into a fight. So we're gonna move on to the Game Awards. Would you like to cover that? You reckon that'd be a good one to cover?
Please and thank you before I lose my mind.
So, the Game Awards obviously were quite recently. I think around the beginning of December, maybe end of October. Or sorry, November. Sorry. And there was some
they were
interesting
December?
things. Yeah, they were at the beginning of December, I feel, but I'm not too sure. So one of the games that were announced is Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. So Amanda Waller showed up at the Game Awards and showed some quote classified footage from the new game. It looks chaotic, quite good. It's dated for 2022. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, and it looks pretty cool. Like I just want to go on as Harley Quinn and start smashing people up like with hammers. That's
Yeah.
it.
That would be quite fun, to be honest with you. See, I'm not a big DC fan myself, so I wouldn't quite understand the game.
Mhm.
But I believe the Flash is in it.
Yes,
With the
so
Justice League.
the whole story from the trailer is that he is in control by Brainiac.
Okay.
And that's why he's sort of going the way he is, and that they've been tasked to kill because it's the same girl. The girl who's tasking him to do all this stuff is like part of the government.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's being controlled by Brainiac and working with him, so it's just slapping around the Flash, and hopefully the other Justice League members as well, because I want to beat the snot out of Batman. Like that's it. I want to empty him.
Yeah. Well, we were discussing this topic not too long ago, right? We near got into an argument. But Star Wars is bringing out a new game.
Oh God.
Okay. It's called Star Wars Eclipse, and I'm quickly just having a wee nosy at the trailer right now, and I tell you what, that cinematic trailer looks incredible.
I have never actually I must have fell asleep for this part. What?
Yeah, it's called Star Wars Eclipse. Detroit Become Human developer Quantic Dream is working on the new Star Wars game in collaboration with Lucasfilms. It's set in the High Republic. It will be a multiple player character and branching story. It's still early in development, so probably won't be out for a few years. But
So it's essentially just going to be Detroit Become Human, but Star Wars, yeah.
yes,
Okay, that is going to be sick. I have always wanted something like that.
it's 100% story driven. And it looks incredible.
Man.
Yeah. Going back to DC, we have Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman game will be called Wonder Woman. Um, it's coming from the same people that made Middle Earth Shadow of War developer.
That is a game and a half, I am telling you.
It basically the teaser trailer basically showed a little about the game, but just a dramatic close up from
Oh yeah,
Wonder Woman.
like I don't know. It could be a good game if they have similar gameplay style to Shadow of War, because I
Yeah,
know there's a whole thing you can make people tell the truth with your hand in Shadow of War, and maybe the Lasso of Truth could be something like that,
possibly.
but it doesn't. I don't know. I just don't feel like a solo Wonder Woman game could work the same way a solo Flash game couldn't work.
Well, I feel like they could probably do it similar to the way the Batman Arkham series worked. But
Yeah, but I feel like it's too close to it. I mean, it has to be its
yeah,
own sort of flavor.
true. And it's like set in Washington, I guess, and it could be set in if it was set in the 80s, that could be quite a good game, because obviously the first Wonder Woman was like from the 80s, I believe. So it could be quite interesting. But here's a game I've just spotted, Adam, and me, you, and our friend, when we were out on Monday, were discussing this game, and this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, that game. I cannot. Like, I was only told about this recently. I must have fell asleep for half these games, I'm not gonna lie, but they said it was from the creators of the Friday the 13th game,
Yes,
and
that's right.
if they haven't to the similar gameplay, I am never ever leaving my chair ever.
It's based upon true effects. It says now, or sorry, true events. So I wouldn't take that one quite seriously, but it'll be interesting. Now, a new game that has came out of recent, which I think has taken the internet by storm, is Halo Infinite. Now, at the Game Awards, not only was that game, I believe, released, they also announced the Halo TV show.
Oh
Now,
yes.
the Halo TV show will be in 2022 exclusively on Paramount Plus. So I believe if you're in the UK, you cannot watch that show. But from what it looks like on the trailer, it looks incredible.
I mean, you could, and this is not illegal. This is just purely legal. Is use a VPN to access as long as you're paying for those services. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is very true. We're not going to give any names of VPNs here because we are not sponsored by any. So,
Yeah.
but the trailer, it brings back some recognizable faces. Like, there's people that play these roles that you would see in other shows. Now, what the storyline will be, I'm not quite sure. Will they stick to the storyline they have in previous games, or will they make a completely new one?
I would like a new one, due to the fact of doing something we've already seen before can be a bit meh, but they could do it right. So I don't know. All we know is that we're gonna have Master Chief, Doctor Halsey, and Cortana. That's the only three characters that have apparently been confirmed so far.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? But a game that I've just spotted that we were playing quite recently is Among Us, but this version of Among Us is virtual reality. It was a very brief clip, only showing one of the characters doing a task and getting turned around and getting killed. So, what is your take on this VR version of it, Adam?
I'm going to go insane.
You like the idea, or is it bad?
It's a good idea, but genuinely, I have not for 1 month like just forgot that game. Like someone always reminds me that I'm
It's a
going to
game
go
that'll
insane about it.
never leave our sort of circle that we're in. It's just
Yeah,
gonna be stuck there, unfortunately. But I feel like VR, if you had friends that also have VR headsets, which is quite hard to find, it would be quite a fun game to play if there was 5 or 6 of you, and you were all in first person running about whatever the maps are.
yeah.
Yeah, now another game just caught my eye. This is Star Trek Resurgence. So it's a third person choice driven game set in the Star Trek universe. It's coming from
So
Dramatic Labs, who brought the Telltale games. So, as you know, Telltale shut down. So Dramatic Labs is a studio made up of the Telltale game veterans.
uh,
So
sorry to sort of burst your bubble there, but Telltale actually revived themselves about a year ago.
Oh, okay. Well, from what I can see is this is a new studio
Yeah.
coming from ex-Telltale game developers
Yeah.
then. So it's still going to be very Telltale-esque game with it being choice-driven. And I feel like that would give you a sort of look into Star Trek that if you have watched Star Trek or even haven't watched Star Trek, it would give you a new insight into this
Oh yeah.
show, movie, whatever they've got these days for it. So
I haven't actually touched Star Trek ever before. It
No,
just
neither.
wasn't my thing.
I'm not a Trekkie. I'm for Star Wars personally. But please don't come hate us for that. So another one that they announced is The Matrix, Resurrections, and Awakens. So Keanu Reeves did appear at the Game Awards again. Last time
Yeah.
wasn't for a very good game, but this time, he brought The Matrix Awakens, which is an interactive experience set in the Matrix world. Now, how that works, I don't know.
So I've played, touched on it a little bit. So essentially, what it is it's showing. I think it was a partnership with Epic to sort of show off what Unreal Engine 5 could do in terms of graphics, in terms of detail. And when I have looked at that and touched it and looked at everything, the game is so realistic looking. It's scary. Like, it's to show what could be coming in the future with anything that's made by Unreal. And if they can optimize it right, we could have games coming out that look so close to real life you could barely tell the difference.
That sounds quite interesting. I wish I had the new Xbox to try that out myself, but we're gonna have to just stick with not for now. So another game. It's an old game, but it's going to have a lot more players on it now. This is PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. The original game, which used to cost, I believe it was £15, if I'm not wrong, is now free to play. So that is big news. I think it was about time Microsoft done this, because that game has been bugged for so long. It did not deserve to be money paid. So the paywall's now gone. It's free to play. You can download it online. I believe you can download it on your computer too. So yeah, Cuphead has a new DLC. It's called The Delicious Last Course. Revealed through a song performed at the Game Awards. The
I'm
DLC
sorry,
comes out June 30th.
I have just realized what it's called there, that name. See, the Delicious Last Course is called the DLC. It just clicked in by looking at that name there. That's stupid, like, but it's
Oh my God. Well, that comes out June 30th, 2022. And that is on PlayStation. I don't believe we have it on Xbox, if I'm not mistaken, unfortunately. But it's on PlayStation, it's on PC. So
Sonic.
Sonic
I'm
the
sorry.
Hedgehog 2.
Oh, I cannot wait for this. It is going to be beautiful.
Knuckles comes in as a new villain in
Idris
this new
Elba.
movie. And Tails is introduced to Sonic for the first time in this movie. Making a weird storyline to this, wondering if it's set in modern day. Would a Tails not have known Sonic before?
See, it's the way it is that they were in different realities, the same way Sonic was. So they only came out and noticed him after. They never met him before. Knuckles, Knuckles' whole thing that he is, and you've seen it in the trailer, is that he guards this sort of Master Emerald, which is like this big giant sort of Chaos Emerald that has
Okay.
so much power. And from what I can tell, it's going to be similar to if you've ever watched it now. There's so many Sonic series. If you've ever never watched them, is the Sonic X show, and what it does is Knuckles is told by Eggman that Sonic wants to steal the Emerald or something like that there. So
Okay.
Knuckles tries to go against him to defend him. I think that's similar to what's going to happen in this one, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, it sounds quite interesting. Now, this has just caught my eyes. I've never heard of this being a game that was announced, and this is Dune Spice Wars. Now, Dune was a movie made in, I believe, the 80s or 90s, and they've recently made a remake of it now. And they announced that there's going to be a game, which is a real-time strategy game with 4X elements, meaning explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. Now, it looks quite interesting. I don't know if it would be my cup of tea, but the movie Dune was quite good. So I would like to see what this game turns out to be like.
It seems to be real time. Yeah, it says real time strategy here, which 4X elements, which is going to be pretty cool. But real time strategy is like it's a top down sort of base type game. It seems to be.
Okay.
But I mean, it could be cool, but it's just not for me. I mean, I always try these games out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
here's another game I've just spotted. After this game, we will move on. But this is Rumbleverse. It's a new wrestling, colorful pro battle royale game by Epic Games. It's coming to consoles next year: PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Now, I thought Epic Games had made enough battle royale games, but clearly not.
I
So,
also there is another sort of fighting game coming out, which I'll mention after this whenever you finish there. Like,
okay. I'm just having a look at the trailer here. It looks very Fortnite graphics. Like, the graphics are near enough the same as Fortnite,
so
but
cartoony sort of.
with wrestling characters
shooter.
instead.
I mean,
But
it could be pretty cool. You can't just base a game off its graphics, like, but
the graphics are near enough identical to Fortnite, if not the same. So it'll be
well,
interesting to see how they go with that. But they have a storm that comes in. You know, it's basically just Fortnite, but instead of guns, you beat people up. So that
there
is
i-
quite interesting.
there is one game which I am actually quite excited for, which is going to be um the Warner Brothers Multiverse game.
Okay. So for
Um,
those of you that haven't heard of this, like myself, would you like to explain to us what it is?
Right, so essentially what it is it's like Smash Bros meets Warner Brothers. So you have the likes of Gandalf, you have the likes of the weird enough meme Ultra Instinct Shaggy. You have Tom and Jerry. You have Adventure Time with Finn and Jake. You have there's just so many characters that are from all these different universes coming in to fight. And unlike the new Brawl Stars that was, or not Brawl Stars, the Nickelodeon fighting game that came out recently, this one actually has voice acting and it
Okay.
plays so quickly and it's going to be so cool when it releases.
That does sound quite interesting. I'm quite excited to hear about that. Now, we're going to move on from this topic because we have now covered this topic for around 20 minutes. So, moving on, this article that I'm going off is Sky Sports. So, if you would like to find out more about this topic, you can go over to Sky Sports and find this out. But this is to do with the current Premier League COVID climate situation. So, this is to do with the football and the Premier League. Now, the Premier League, as of Tuesday, the 14th of December, has recorded 42 new COVID cases. This is the highest number since release of weekly fixtures began last year. There was 3,805 tests carried out between December 6th and December 12th, with 12 of them reaching positive. And as of very recently, a lot of games have been called off, including Tottenham's last two. Man United's trip to Brentford was postponed and therefore called off. It's a weird world we live in. Norwich and Villa managed to play it off, but half the stadium was near enough empty. Like, they had 26,000, I believe it was, and you could just see half the seats just were empty, but all the tickets were purchased. And this is due to the Omicron variant. This is a new variant that people seem to be very, very scared of, because there's rumours that your double vaccination doesn't help. And they're trying to say you have to get your booster to try and protect you against this. It's quite a weird world. Top flight clubs have reached a vaccination rate of 85%, which has allowed the relaxed restrictions which were imposed in the summer. But those that had done so were told they must return to stricter measures. The league statement added, the safety of everybody is a priority, and the Premier League is taking all precautionary steps in the light of recent COVID-19 cases across the country. The league has reverted to its emergency measures and will increase the frequency of both lateral flow and PCR COVID-19 testing of players and staff. The Premier League COVID-19 emergency measures, which are applicable to all clubs, include protocols such as wearing face coverings while indoors, observing social distancing, and limiting treatment time. There are also more additions to the more frequent testing. We will continue to work closely with the government, local authorities, and supporter groups, whilst being responsive to any future changes to the national or local guidance. So I don't really know where they can go with this. Personally, I feel it won't be long before the Premier League has a break, because Brighton and Graham Potter's side was hit with so many COVID patients and so many injuries at the same time. It's quite. It's not good. Is all I can say.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea where you're like this is your sort of thing. My sports out the window for me. I'm not gonna not gonna lie.
100%. No, well, I don't know how the Premier League can approach fixing this and how they can still follow procedures with keeping the games going, because obviously contact sports, you're going to be touching each other, you're going to be really close to each other, shoving each other, hurting each other, and there's only so much you can do to limit that. So in my opinion, I feel it's not going to be long before the Premier League's postponed. Talking about the Premier League, a Premier League great that has announced his retirement prematurely at the age of 33 is Sergio Aguero, and this is due to a heart condition. He was forced to stop. He only joined Barcelona in the summer after playing 20 seasons as a footballer. He gave a short list of which he enjoyed playing in, which would consist of Independiente versus Racing back in Argentina. He enjoyed playing the Europa League. The goal against QPR, which is probably one of the most famous goals he's ever scored, winning the Copa America. The last goal against Madrid in the derby that they had played. It's quite sad to see him go, especially because he's young in terms of a footballer. He's like just past that prime. He's had injuries recently. He scored 427 goals in his career for club and country. He's one of the greatest of all time. And to see him go, it's very unfortunate, and he will be missed within the football scene. So that's the sports covered. Would there be anything you would like to go over, Adam?
Repeat that again there, sorry, you cut it.
The sports is now being covered. Is there anything else you would like to go over?
I think we've touched on every topic that I could think of, to be fair. The movie releases that are coming out, I'm excited with everything that is being released and talked about. Game releases, in terms of, definitely all I'm saying is that the game I am looking forward to the most would probably be, I don't know, I'm just thinking more. Gollum's a weird game, but Sonic Frontiers, that's a game that's coming out soon that I can't wait for.
Yeah, 100%.
But aside from that, I think we've touched on the topics that I can think of, man.
100%. Well, thank you for coming on today. No doubt we'll see you around once more. I'll keep it a secret for who's the guest is for the upcoming week. So we will be back next Saturday. And we look forward to seeing you. Now, whether Adam is back with me or not, that is up for debate. But we will be back on the 1st of January. So I hope you enjoyed your Christmas. Hope you enjoy your Boxing Day. And we will see you on New Year's Day. Thank you all so much for listening. And goodbye.